My name is Richard Butterworth, founder of Equine Salt Therapy. I started my working life as a laboratory technician and quality control officer monitoring microbes in compost heaps in a horticultural company called Debco. The next 10 years I spent as a hatchery manager in the poultry industry, and then 10 years running my own wine business in viticulture before applying patents to my livestock treatment method and apparatus. Good morning. Just a quick update on the patent. As we get up early in the morning, at the same time the farmers are facing tough conditions here in Australia with extreme drought, dry bushfires. We'd like to acknowledge the wonderful job they've been doing innovating farming practices through tight husbandry measures, and that's really the purpose of this announcement, is that the Australian patent's now been accepted. We've just passed the objection period, and that takes us on to the next phase of the development of our technologies through the learnings in what is the Formula One of the animal kingdom, the thoroughbred racing side. All of our HorseTech colleagues have been fantastic in nurturing the ideas that are fostered through this patent, which is livestock treatment method and apparatus for the application of micronized salt particles into airstreams for confined management of livestock and animals, including racehorses, companion animals, poultry, swine, dairy farming, also the live export transport side. What we've developed is a innate understanding of the third way to manage these day-to-day problems through the learnings in thoroughbred. We've discovered that the ability for us to impart micronized mineral salts, much in the same theory that a German Dr. Schussler theorized, that the application of micronized mineral salts is more about a little bit often rather than a lot in one hit. And this is going to be important in the transition for livestock, particularly in commercial food production, with the ability for us to put a protective barrier and layer of micronized salts into the mucociliary system of the animals that we're dealing with in poultry and swine, and many other applications, as I said. In transport, it's important. In equine, we've found that the implementation of our technology in equine has given us the ability to prevent the spread of problems in transport, because we treat the whole animal simultaneously at the same time in transport. What we've discovered is that by keeping a protective barrier of the micronized mineral salt particles in play, particularly in the first 7 days of life in livestock applications, when you're rearing on broiler farms, that from the hatchery in transportation to the facility, that we can continue through that vulnerable period when the animal's exposed, the immune system's low, and they're exposed to pathological threats, that the ability to continue the exposure of micronized mineral salts, which are completely safe and effective in that environment, they're simultaneously protecting the entry points with bacteria in the respiratory system, and also shielding the outside of the animal. In the case of the thoroughbred, it's the largest organ on the skin, so as I said, with transportation into colonised areas, so you've got new horses coming from yearling stables, you've got young livestock going into farm settings. In swine, you've got the same applications. In the dairy industry, during the milking process, we again micronising the mineral salt particles to ensure that any threats that are occurring in inflammatory or antibacterial sense, that we're all over it. So you'll see more of this throughout the year, and I think all of the stuff that we've learned through workings in the Middle East and with the kosher brethren around the world, that we really, it's time to sort of embrace and unite our learnings to be able to improve farming practices, transition away from medically important antibiotics, stop the subtherapeutic use of these important resources that the medical world has to use, and let's move forward in a way that is more constructive. It's less dependent on medications and goes back to some old-fashioned values, supported by some modern technology that we are able to implement through this patent. The livestock treatment method and apparatus is now successfully been accepted in 5 countries, and as I said, Australia, it's taken some time to go through that process. We're expecting next year the US patent to be accepted and granted as well, and many other countries as well. So we look forward to sharing our learnings, and also collaborating with our other people that have successfully used the same theory of pharmaceutical grade salts in Ulti-Salt to help reduce the dependence on medically important antibiotics, and through good hydration of cells and healthy organisms. As Schussler discovered, a little bit often rather than a lot in one hit, and to treat the animal in the absence of illness is certainly a better way to go than in a reactionary sense. So we look forward to many developments. This year is an important year in 2020. Equine salt therapy, since 2012, with its patented delivery method and apparatus, has the ability to line the nasal passages with Ulti-Salt. Creates a barrier to entry, killing bacteria at the point of entry, and lines the fine hairs called ciliary in the nasal passage, which therefore activates the mucociliary elevator, ridding the horse of mucus, killing bacteria, and also for bleeders for any secondary infections that may occur.
We provide full training and induction to new practitioners, not only to arm them with the skills and knowledge they need to operate a successful business, but to also ensure the protection and safety of the horses we treat and the people we meet.
Practitioners become qualified and recognised with their training through the IICT, which gives them access to insurance and other parts of the business, which is a requirement of the industry. The horse industry is highly regulated, and as such requires corporate governance to only deal with companies that have patent protection for their modalities and recognised insurances to cover off any liability or loss. Equine Salt Therapy is a registered training organisation. As such, the qualifications are recognised through the IICT, which gives you then access to affordable insurance for the modality which you are going to explore. Horses face many seasonal issues with respiratory, which creates mucus, whether it's to do with seasonal allergies from pollen or other pollutants in their stable life. We can resolve their mucus scores from a grade 5 down to a 0 within 3 days, a 15-minute treatment duration. The only exception to this is the horses that have had throat surgery. We get them down to a grade 1 as they still produce a level of mucus to aid digestion. Some of the benefits of equine salt therapy are that it's drug-free, it's a dedicated decongestant, targets a lower airway disease, rapid skin rash clearance, and is antibacterial. We're thrilled to be a part of the HorseTech market report. As you can see, we fall into the welfare and also the environmental categories. Our treatments are clinically assessed on a daily basis, with over 8,000 horses per week being scoped pre and post our treatment, and many trainers have testimonials to attest to the efficacy of our treatments.
My name's Craig Martin from Hunter to Coast Equine Salt Therapy. Today we're going to be treating some horses at the Steve Farley racing team that'll be going around later in the week. Equine salt therapy is a fairly new treatment. It's non-invasive, drug-free, assists very much with lower airway disease, skin conditions and other ailments that they may have, similar to a human having an asthma or so forth. In racehorses, also very beneficial for bleeders turning back to the track. Not only racehorses, it's also show horses, pony clubs. We do a lot of work with the Central Coast Quarter Horse Association through sponsorship and other things. So yeah, it's beneficial for all horses, whether it's a hack or whether it's a $1 million racehorse like Sincero that we've got here. So we've completed our treatment with Big Legged Woman today. One of the positives out of the float that we have got here, we've got a front exiting door. So horses aren't used to backing out or not being on a front loader. We have the ability to bring the horses out through the front and make life a lot easier for them. As I said, we're based on the Central Coast, but we do travel all over New South Wales. We've treated horses at Coffs Harbour, Tamworth, West Wyalong next week, so feel free to give me a call or contact us through our Facebook site, and we'll work around your schedule as much as we possibly can to make sure that you don't miss out based on locality.
We're excited to be able to offer a free call number for anyone interested in having an exclusive business opportunity with no competition in your area. Please call the free call number 1833 6840 435 and speak to Matt Christie, our sales representative.